Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. Tonight we will be talking the NFL's draft of Shedeur Sanders, a broader attack on Black fathers and freedom. Nightcap Knowledge every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. right here on Black with No Chaser. Hope that you all will leave us a comment, leave us a like, share this with somebody that needs to know this. You put some on your head before you go to bed. Let's get this show started. It is Nightcap Knowledge. We got a recurring guest back for a surprise visit. Matt, go on, unmute yourself, man, and let us know who you got over there with you.
Hey, man, listen, I want to welcome everybody to the Nightcap Knowledge Show. Remember, this show is rated Black and Uncensored. Real talk, real issues, and real solutions. And we here to tell it like a TI is. So
there you go.
Where I got my start, or where we got to start from, was Reviving Mississippi show.
That's right, on WMPR.
Yep. How many years ago was that?
Since we started, he has had 3 different titles. 3. Councilman,
3.
Representative, now Public Service Commission.
PSC.
That's the
Not
man.
to be confused with T.I.'s Pimp Squad clique.
Well, I appreciate you, brothers, man. I got my McAllister's tea.
There you go. Well, I got my Black with No Chaser tea.
Okay.
I got the tequila.
I had to make that clear from the beginning.
That's the tequila.
Hey, well, look, no disrespect, no slight to anybody that indulges in adult beverages, whether they be on a Nightcap Knowledge or WLBT. Now, with that being said, Mac, I think you've given the disclaimer about this being an unapologetic Black show. We're gonna speak truth, and every gentleman here is a very present father, a very present Black man, a very present friend and brother. So, do you have a mental health minute for us this evening?
So the mental health minute is be your best you, right? And we say that because, and it's just so ironic that these things line up. A lot of times there's so many people telling us who we are, who we should be, how we should respond. And sometimes you start to listen to those folks trying to be the person or fit the profile, and you lose sense of self in your identity. So we're going to talk about being your best you, regardless of what they may be. Even if folks call you different things, be your own weird, whatever it may be. Be proud of that, own it, and be the best version of that you could be for yourself, right? Evolution is great as we grow and things of that nature, but don't allow others to talk about you or challenge you to make you be something that they want to see versus being who you were meant to be or who you are. So you be the best version of yourself. And as our sister Tanya will always say, because everyone else is taken. So you have no other choice but to be the best version of yourself that you can be. What's the groove, Chuck?
That's right there. I ain't trying to be nobody else. I've been myself too long, so I ain't trying to figure out nobody else to be. I am the son of George and Janie, and I think I've gotten a lot of the best parts of them. And I picked up some handy dandy things along the way. And that's allowed me to find and fall into my own groove. I've been in the groove of writing, Mac, and I've
Okay.
been writing a number of things. I know that's been one of the roles that I've had to play for Mississippi Move with one, me being a very present dad, making the baseball, making the soccer games, then also showing up for nieces and nephews that might need that presence.
Right.
But in doing so, I've also been paying attention to how people have began to move when it comes to um the displays of fatherhood.
Right.
And here recently, and it goes with our topic tonight. I wrote an article about Shedeur Sanders. And y'all, I mean, we're sports guys enough to know that if a kid can play at one level, moves to the next level, let's say high school to college, and then that kid is sought after and is able to transfer to an institution, and then that institution says, you know what, we want to see what y'all can do as a unit. And that y'all that I'm speaking of is when the Sanders family, along with a number of very, very talented individuals from the athlete level to the coaches and the administrative levels, they all transferred or, you know, hit the portal and went to Colorado. And I don't have any disagreement with that because people move jobs all the time. But the jobs that people don't move, when you're a parent, you can't hit no transfer portal. And I don't think that Deion Sanders has attempted to do that. I think he's actually been one of those people that has shown up for a lot of young men. And that's the role that a lot of coaches play. But getting back to Shedeur, there's no way that a young man is able to win a conference title, what, two at least 2 years in a row, right? At Jackson State, and then go to Colorado, make a bowl appearance, win there, put up great numbers without all of the quote unquote tools that you need to be, a conference dominant team. So we titled our article um, "Drafted, Not Defeated," and that drafted, not defeated is something that exposes the NFL and I would dare say America's relationship with black confidence and black excellence and black success. And I want that to kind of guide our conversation tonight, or at least give us a starting point. Um, Mac DeKeither. Anytime that a quarterback is able to complete passes, hand off the ball, not get sacked, and do it at a level where their team goes on to compete in bowl games, wouldn't you say that quarterback or even, whatever the athlete is, whatever position they're playing, would you say that, they deserve to be drafted, at a pretty high level?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the stats say.
Based off stats.
Based off stats. Like, take the names out of it. Yeah. Take the names out of it.
Yeah. Of course.
So with that being said, I'd love to begin with y'all's opinions and thoughts around how we ended up in this moment. And do you think that it may be retaliation with regard to Coach Prime or Deion, whatever you want to call him? Let me know what y'all think.
So Chuck, while you search Boomer. Look at what his press conference, what he had to say. And one of the things
Boomer Esiason or which Boomer? Who?
I can't remember the
Who's white or black?
White guy.
Boomer Esiason, bro.
Yeah.
Boomer Esiason. All right.
Anyway, the point is he talked about what some of the owners had told the GMs, take him off the board. And I want to play it, and I want you to hear something. Before we respond, I want you to play what he saw.
Okay.
All right. And then play anybody else, Stephen A. Smith, anybody else. Right. So
okay.
I want you to play those two clips first.
All right. I'm gonna bring my screen up before, so we can look through these together, because I want to make sure I'm hitting the right one. Boomer Esiason, Shedeur Sanders. All right.
Right.
Are y'all seeing that?
No, not yet.
Okay. Y'all not seeing that? No. Hold on. All right. Just me. All right. It should be. I updated my computer the other day, and all my settings aren't back as they should be. Let's see. I don't know how we're gonna do this. While we're looking for that, Matt, what's going on at Hemp World, man? What y'all got coming up next?
Herbal Wellness is doing great. And people are enjoying the products. Herbal Wellness South Therapeutic Lounge right here, located at 4270 Robinson Road. We are here making things happen, providing great therapeutic service and products to those who are in need. So
there you go. Herbal Wellness South. Herbal Wellness South.
It is. Yeah,
say it again for the people. Herbal Wellness South.
In the back.
There we go. Yep. What was that? A Freudian slip?
Hey, it happens.
It does. All right, here we go. We're gonna share this screen. We've got a window, and y'all still not getting nothing, huh?
Nope.
There we go. All right. Boom.
All right, there you go.
We did it. We're getting those permissions together. I'll go to the video.
Yeah.
About is that a good one right there? Former NFL legend Boomer Esiason confirms collusion. All right, can y'all hear that?
Yep.
All right.
Not yet.
Nope.
All
right, hang tight. Let's do this. Man, this is this update is something else right here. How about let's see.
Man, what you got going on, a spaceship?
Man, it is it's Nightcap Knowledge. It's a lot going on once I update things, and Apple they decide to change stuff when they want to.
Both of y'all are like yin and yang. Matt got one computer, and you got a supercomputer with like 6 or 7 screens.
Yeah, you see my eyes going back and forth. Yeah,
right, I keep looking.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Let me get some work done.
Boom.
Get some work done.
Get some work done, man. And
when you're ready for me to answer a question, I'm gonna be here.
Oh, there you go.
We got it. I think that's it. Let's see. All right. Y'all got audio?
No audio.
No audio. All right.
We didn't seen it though.
Hold on. We're gonna
If you
remove
got
that one. Stop screen. We got a tab. Present. Share screen.
There
Chrome
you
tab.
go. Yep.
Add to screen. Is that it?
No
Let's
audio.
see if we get some audio.
The reason why
There you go.
Shedeur did not get drafted like he was supposed to in the NFL draft. I think we all understand and all know why. But Boomer Esiason, former Cincinnati Bengals great quarterback, had some things to say about what he was hearing about what went on. Check out what he had to say.
And they took him off because the owner said, take him off. I don't want that guy. Shedeur Sanders just torpedoed himself. His attitude off the field at the combine, his dad didn't help him either. You know, he was on podcast talking about, this is my son. If I can get him to where I want to get him to, I'm going to do that. But, you know, when you listen to this kid talk right prior or at the combine about if you want a new culture in your locker room, I'm the guy to do that. I can turn it around. I mean, he's very high on himself. And I think he was very off-putting to many, many coaches and general managers in the league. And I'm telling you right now, and I know this after talking to 3 different personnel people in the NFL this weekend, they didn't even have him on their board. They took him off. And they took him off because the owner said, take him off. I don't want that guy. I don't want this entitled person on our team. And I don't blame him.
Wow. Wow. You heard exactly what it was. So
Now, y'all want to keep going on that one? We going to another one.
No, that's the version, right, that you heard. So again, we've heard a lot of times when it comes to black young men and men, period, about you have to humble yourself. You have to do this. Well, if you are good and you know that you are good, you're not supposed to say anything. He was trying to sell himself by saying, if you want a new culture, you want a new leader, I'm that guy. I can do it. Put the team on my back. I carry it. Right. But you took it as saying that he was entitled. That's the way you took it because of who he is. And his father said, his father got involved and said, I want to get the best for himself. Who don't want the best for their child? How did that become a problem? But that's how it resonated to white America.
That's what they
those
heard.
Who in power. That's what they heard. He was entitled, not being confident, not say, hey, choose me. I'm your guy. I'll lead for you. They heard he's entitled. He torpedoed himself by saying that. What about his stats? Yeah. The awards he got for quarterback were predominantly white awards. They were named after white quarterbacks.
Right. The thing I like to bring to the conversation, Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel's a train wreck. And what I'm saying is like Keith, I see you want to jump in, but Johnny Manziel was a dude that everybody knew as a partier. He was gonna be totally lit, the life of the party, drunk the night before the game, and it was a known thing.
Right.
Go ahead, jump in.
So I got a solution. Why don't everyone
real issue, real solutions?
Right. Well, if everyone who believes and supports Shedeur Sanders will commit to only buying Shedeur Sanders merchandise from his own private brand of himself from his website, if you support Shedeur Sanders, and then watch the game, that will give a dedicated eyeballs specifically to the people who watch the game. So if you get all these people who say they support Shedeur Sanders to put their eyeballs when he play and then turn around and merchandise specifically through him personally, since he ain't gonna get paid squat from the NFL. So
Right.
you just market right by his own brand. And if you don't have one, Shedeur Sanders, create one. And the keeper stamps will buy the first 100 units of whatever it is. But my point I'm trying to say is when you just move from a position of authority and control, not blather and talk. So to me, let's just buy merchandise from him. We're not saying anything else. Just go buy merchandise from him, wear the jersey, and boom. Control the economic. See, we always maneuver through an economic control by other people. But we have to maneuver in the economic that we control. We control our eyeballs and we control what jersey we buy this year. Okay?
We control our
don't
debit and credit
don't
card.
make an NBA jersey and say to Sanders. Just go do a basketball jersey. Whatever jersey you put on, put a 21 and Sanders on it, and boom, that's who we support.
That's
basketball,
who we got.
football, don't matter. And you buy strictly from them or another institution an economy that you control.
Yeah,
I agree with that 100%.
And then,
I've seen,
but with a smart marketer like they will do, because they're master marketers. So once they already know they have a niche market inside of the eyeballs of the industry that sways the industry. So what they're gonna do, they're gonna turn around and take the inertia we create and guide it to something that continues to facilitate forward progression.
That's right.
Because when a 21-year-old Muhammad Ali said, "I'm the greatest," I don't know what this brother gonna turn into. But if he say he the greatest, what are you supposed to say? He the worst? Right? Some of us don't want to be regular.
Right.
I want to be amazing.
Absolutely amazing, outstanding.
And I'm working on getting better every day. And so what I'm saying is, I think that we just should operate from a position of strength and move accordingly.
That's right.
Well, Chuck, that's the problem.
Let me get back to work.
No, that's the problem. Is that
I gotta go to government mention tomorrow afternoon.
Operating from a position of power and strength, right, is something that we're not supposed to do. Well, you're supposed to be happy to be there. You're supposed to be thankful, right? You don't see too many black quarterbacks or black players come from the type of pedigree that he does. For your father, now your father had to get it a different way, but when he got it, he made sure that his children had the best in all fashions, and he created not only did he make sure they had the best for athletic wise, but off the field they got the GPA, and they also got businesses and they got their own money.
But we also forget that these brothers were raised on TV. Remember the reality show they had with Pilar? So we've been seeing Shedeur Sanders as a 9-year-old crying to his daddy. You know what I'm saying? So there are people who are just now looking at Shedeur Sanders, but there's an audience that has followed them for a long time. And if they didn't follow them back then, since he got to playing football in college, people went back and watched all those episodes to refamiliarize and endure themselves with more than just an athlete. So you got some people who are looking at just as athletics, but they've been building a relationship with an audience and fan base for 20 years, 30 years.
Well, that's the problem. You want them to respond the way that the average young 21-year-old black person that get drafted.
Unfathered.
That's how you want them to respond.
Right. Yeah, I agree with y'all, man, and I love the fact that his rookie jersey is in the top 3. Travis being number 1, Cam Ward being number 2, Shedeur Sanders being number 3 in terms of best-selling jerseys from the draft. I do agree with the Keitha that we should be buying merchandise directly from the Shedeur Sanders legendary, Be Legendary, his website. One of the other things that I would like to point out is in the interviews that typically are only seen via social media, because the interviews that we see that come out via mainstream, quote unquote mainstream media, they're only going to slant one particular way. But one of the things I appreciated most about one of the clips that I saw, Shedeur Sanders was interacting with the CEO of YouTube. And the CEO of YouTube had his 16-year-old son along with him. And Shedeur not only, greeted the gentleman, like respected his humanity, said hello to him and his son, engaged in conversation with his son. He didn't code switch. Shedeur talked as himself. He did not have a different way of speaking. He was clear. He was understandable. He asked the kid, you're playing any sports? Like, what are you interested in? Just basic conversation. And the CEO of YouTube said, man, you have a great channel. And Shedeur said, look, it's not just me. And this is what he did. He pointed to the camera and he gave his older brother, Deion Sanders Jr., a shout out. One of the things that I appreciate about Shedeur and also the children of Deion Sanders is that as big of personalities as they are, and as big a personality as their father is, they always find a way to uplift each other. They always find a way to say, that's my brother, or look, that's my dad. Like, what you think I'm supposed to do? Like, if he's like this, how do you expect me to be anything less than that? That's my take on it in terms of why the NFL, America has this estranged, and it's nothing new, but we've never seen it so overt from an institution that is built on Black excellence. But they only want that Black excellence to be showcased to the benefit of their pocket. And there's absolutely nothing that the NFL can do to affect Shedeur Sanders' pocket because of all the NIL and the personal endorsement money that he's been able to amass because of, as the Keitha mentioned, the media machine and the media masterminds that they are. So you talk about his independent endorsement deals and everything that he's been able to curate as a result of his upbringing and who his family is. The NFL can't control that money. The only thing that they could control was when he got drafted in the 2025 draft.
So Chuck, I got 2 points, right? You are the only person on here that would personally like get a chance to see what that may be, right? You might personally be able to go through that because your boys play 2 sports, right? That's very active. It's baseball and soccer.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about the best equipment that you buy, the time that you invest with them.
Absolutely.
To get them to where they need to be. How, as a father, now you know what you've been doing from this point. How, as a father, do you not advocate for your boys to get the best? Because you want them to do the best. So the thing about it is, if he had to win the top 3, Shedeur, his salary was been around $45 million. And for us, only us, Black folks, where someone say that that's too much money. They want to try to change the dynamics where you make less money because I know for us, we always figuring that, that person made enough money. They should give somebody else a chance. No. Right now, we got billionaires that are stealing money from the poorest people in the country because they want to be trillionaires.
Right.
But because he has millions, that's enough money. He don't need to go at a higher rank so that he can make more money because that's enough for him already. They only say that and look at that when it comes to us. So someone compared, I think it was Terry Bradshaw. What's the difference between what Deion Sanders is doing than what Archie Manning did for his boys?
Absolutely. Absolutely the same thing. Absolutely the same thing. So there's no difference between, and that was going to be one of the points that we got a mean delay. I thought I was on time that time. All right. One of the things that I was going to want to bring up is the comparison between Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and Archie Manning. Archie Manning has been very vocal and very active as it relates to where he, what he wants his son to be able to do, where he wanted his son to be able to go. The youngest, and I dare say, even how they show up in Mississippi and Louisiana, with Peyton and Eli and now Arch, there is correlation between what Archie Manning wants and what Archie Manning gets. That's the equation. The reason that he's able to move this way is because of his skin folk. The reason that Shedeur and Deion, Shedeur and his father have been punished is because they aren't skin folk to the people that are in these positions of power.
You can hear me? Yeah, but you also, part of the reason that they're able to move how they move is because of their skin folks.
That's what you said.
I'm talking about us, the Shedeur and Prime is part of the reason they have their skin folks too. This is like a battling of economic. This is not about these two people. This is about the control
I'm agreeing with you.
One economic over the other one. It's just being played out between a league and a player. But how do you punish somebody who has never had an off the field punishment? How do you don't have a character issue way to bring him down? So this is an independent economic fighting against a controlled economic. And it's going to be friction, but it's going to bring the league up. The NFL needs its Tiger Woods. It needs its next story.
Correct.
So the NFL already knows that this story right here is the most marketable story in the entire NFL business-wise. And if
Absolutely.
you don't think the NFL moves like a business, into some team is going to hugely benefit. I bet he signs the shortest contract possible.
That would be the thing that I would exact. That would be what
I would say. Since you drafted me the 5th round, I'm gonna do a 1-year contract, and just every year market yourself and your skill set year by year.
Agreed. Like I'm not pushing back on anything you're saying,
because that means that every year you can get a signing bonus. See, if you sign a 4-year deal, you only get one signing bonus, one hit. But now you can go to a different team and ring that $25, $30, $40 million bail on top of your $50 million a year. That's the
and
money
max out on your bonuses and all of those other things.
All of it, every time. Because the teams don't even want long-term deals anymore because they pay on the back end. Because when they release a quarterback 2 years before the deal's over, they still got to pay that. So all they're negotiating now is saying, hey, instead of getting to a 4-year deal that you're going to pay me anyway, let me change the structure around, make it a 2-year deal, give me a signing bonus, and we'll negotiate at the end of the year.
I agree with you that this is the way that Deion Sanders has been able to dominate the media cycle. So it is in true benefit to the NFL system. 100% agree with you. The thing that I will not agree on, or I won't say that the NFL is not attempting to punish Prime for what he said. We can't allow Prime to operate like Archie. The only thing that we can control is what his son gets paid. Now, the economics of it, you spot on. But I don't want us to miss the point about if you put yourself in a position to where control can be had over you, and you don't have a plan for when the attempt of power to control you comes and hangs over your head. Because now I do believe that Deion and Shedeur and the entire prime time Shedeur Sanders legendary well-off organization, I do believe they had a plan in place. Like, I think they were able to forecast some of this and say, well, this is what we're going to be able to do. These are the types of videos we're going to put out as a result of if this happens. Now, we expect that we should be able to go at this point. Because of some things that we're hearing, we need to have our plan A and B and maybe C. I think at that point they started to put that media machine in motion and control their own narrative and begin to exercise all of the power that they had with their audience. And the earliest thing is what I saw is what Nikita described earlier. The quote unquote movement of Shedeur Sanders supporters are only going to buy merchandise from his direct website. So I think this is a model for players, also for fathers that are entering into, are on a trajectory towards this NFL draft or MLB draft. I think the MLB is a different animal because you got the farm system. The NFL is still one of those places where the college is the farm system for the NFL. With the MLB, you've got these little teams that are sparsed all over the country, and you really have to go through the quote unquote trenches before you're able to make it to the show. With the NFL, it's like, I'm going to watch you on Saturdays when you're in college. And then when you get to the NFL, I'll watch you on Sundays. So it's still a model that could be played out in a variety of different sports. One of the ones that I think that a lot of people should start paying attention to is soccer. There's some very large deals being negotiated as it relates to soccer, but soccer has its homegrown type of situation in terms of a farm system. They're running their kids through this developmental system. You get to the point where they say, well, look, we're going to put you on the practice squad for the MLS team. And it's 2025, 2023 rolling into the 2024 season. There was a 14-year-old kid. He may have been 13, either 13 or 14. He became the youngest player to be drafted by the MLS or by an MLS team. And he broke Freddie Adu's record, I think, by like 6 months. So you're talking about a kid that plays for the Philadelphia Union, that after 4 years of a contract, he will, or quote unquote, will be recruited or drafted by Manchester United, which is one of the largest soccer organizations in the world. And my point is this: his brother was drafted by the Philadelphia Union, and his daddy was also an MLS soccer player. So you're not going to tell me that having a father that goes into an industry that is able to learn the things that he's able to learn and have a brother go before you, you have this family institution, and it works out for your benefit when you're the last child in, or when you're the grandchild coming up. It's only in this Sanders situation that has become, this whole debate in the media. And I think that ultimately Shedeur Sanders will come out on top. I think that Shallow Sanders will benefit from it as well. I think that the NFL is trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with all the kids of these NFL players that are coming up that know the game. It's not a lot of first generation NFL players. Now you got second and third generation NFL families, and they know the ins and the outs, and they're going to get drafted. You're not going to be able to deny them. And they're going to negotiate better contracts, and it's going to be a siphoning of wealth from this particular institution. I hope.
Well, Chuck, I think it goes back to, again, the pink elephant in the room is racism and how we can't get around the you have a problem with him not being a well-behaved Negro, which is Coach Prime Deion Sanders, right? He was a person that told you he was very confident. He bragged. He told you what he could do. And the bad thing about it is, it would be okay if he bragged and he fell on his face. He bragged and he backed it up. Every time he reinvented himself and he ended up on top. And you didn't like that because he bragged and he was confident and he did what he said he was going to do. You couldn't wait for him to fail so you could point back and say, see, you did all that talking. Now look at you, right? Well, now his children has come up. This young man has no type of negative behavior, no consequences off the field or on the field. But you had to punish him because you said he's too entitled. He's not the well-behaved Negro that you want. You want him to be thankful that he got a chance to play and got a chance to be there. But he knows from his skill set that he deserves to be at the front of the line. But you don't want him to say that, right? You took Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter is a bad boy.
Yeah.
So why you didn't take Shedeur?
Yeah. But you got to understand.
You want to prove a point.
But again, when we say racism, if our issues were a bulldozer, classism is the bulldozer, racism is just a shield, the thing that you see. But the engine behind racism is the struggle of a classist structure wanting to be in a certain position. So the issue we have here is current media is just treating this like it's a football player. This is basically a child star. He's had a TV. He grew up on TV, on reality TV.
You're correct there.
Into his daddy when they have problems. And somebody, this wasn't an actor. We've all
real
like
life situations.
There's a certain group of us who has watched them, for years. So for an authentic population, when he came to Jackson State, it was more like, okay, I saw this kid grow up.
Yeah.
So there's a childhood star factor and a childhood camera comfort factor for him. He's used to crying and this stuff. I mean, authentically in his house with his parents.
Right.
So we're not adding that together. We just started. It seems like some folks just started at Jackson State or they just started at Colorado. No, but this relationship with some folks go way back. Because when I saw Deion Sanders, I wanted to be great. So I watched.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Which goes furthermore to my point. That's the entitled part because that's why they made the comment because he's used to doing things like this, right? You used to being in front of the camera. You used to working hard. You used to having things. So you can't dangle trinkets in front of me and I'd be amazed. I grew up with excellence. I grew up with this. I'm just asking for what I'm due. But again, you're not being a well-behaved Negro. You treating him like I said, another 21-year-old or just graduated and happy to be in the league. No, I come from a different pedigree. So I walk different. I walk with my head up. I tell you who I am, what I'm doing, and how I'm going to do it. You don't want that because you have options and freedom, which goes back to our whole conversation we have. They don't like free Negroes, free thinking Negroes. I don't want your brand. I create my own. And I monetize my own and own my own labor, as Chuck say, right? Chuck comes from that, right? Your dad did that.
Shout out to
he owned his own
George
labor
Senior.
And he trained that to you. Same thing that you're doing with your boy.
Yeah.
They don't like that because now they don't have control. As we see on a federal level, all the programs that people benefit from, you're taking them away. So that now when I dingle this little job in front of you, you're going to jump because now you're starving, you don't have any options, and you're going to take what I give you. Don't go out and create your own. We don't have a farmer's market down here in this area. Out of all these people. So Stamps are like, we create our own.
We'll make our own.
That ain't what you're supposed to do. You ain't supposed to do that.
If there's a demand for it.
It's a demand. But we ain't supposed to do it.
You want some greens?
We're supposed
to
wait for somebody else to do it. No, we're not waiting.
See us the first week of July.
We ain't waiting. We ain't waiting. No, sir.
And you were speaking of.
You have any questions, Chuck?
No, we didn't have any questions. We had a couple of shout outs. And if we see that we're about 27 people out there, majority of y'all are on Twitter or X. But the folks that are watching us on Black with No Chaser TV, YouTube, and the Nightcap Knowledge Facebook page, please chime in, give us some comments and questions and thoughts. But one of the things, Mac, you mentioned about the creation and the owning of your own brand and everything. I wanted to show y'all some of the stuff that we've been developing for Jackson. And we got his first 2 t-shirts for the Goal Life collection. So, he's in soccer, and we're gonna chase greatness, and we're gonna live the goal life is his little brand identity. But he loves donuts, and he likes sprinkles on his donuts. So we put this is the center of the soccer field right there. And the kids, they like the bright colors and everything. We dropped this one for Easter, and we sold out all of them. But Goal Life ain't big, so when he goes to school, he's rocking his own stuff. And you can say that, look, with Deion Sanders and what he's been able to do. And I owned a pair of those Diamond Turf Nikes, and hell, I want to buy another pair. I absolutely love that Shedeur has his own legendary kind of brand, and the way that he moves about everything is branded a certain way. This is my favorite shirt that we've designed for Jackson. He loves, and everything that we doing is like truly authentic. Jackson loves Hawaiian rolls. So this shirt right here is called Golden Roll. It says the original game changer on and off the field, 24/7. And we rocking that one. Like, I got that one because orange is my favorite color. I can rock that right there. And then on the front of it, it's got a little soccer ball with a nice smile and the Goal Life logo. So we're building brands now. I ain't got no reality show. But
what a shirt, Chuck.
Oh, y'all couldn't see it? Man, you supposed to tell me.
No.
Man, look, StreamYard and these updates are messing with me. So a lot of the controls are not the same, but that's the front of the Goal Life t-shirt right there.
Okay.
Like I said, this one has a soccer ball. It's got a little smile on it. And the back of the shirt is this. Jackson loves the Hawaiian rolls. So his sandwiches, he's not gonna do just regular bread. He's like he wants sliders. And so that was the inspiration behind Golden Roll. And it says original game changer Goal Life 24/7. And the other shirt that I spoke about earlier, which is his donut shirt, and that's kind of like that was the beginning of what we were creating with Goal Life. If you know anything about soccer, the soccer field or a soccer pitch, the center where you kick off everything is it looks like this right here in the middle. But the collection or the brand is Goal Life, and then of course we're encouraging our boys to aim big. So he's got a couple of friends that he's giving some shirts to, and we're building out some additional ideas, and we will definitely launch things. Soccer season is coming to a close. He'll do tryouts. He'll do tryouts in about a couple weeks, and I'm pretty sure that he'll of course make the team, but he'll probably play up a couple more times. Because this year, this past weekend, they placed second or runner up in their first Players Cup tournament, and they only lost by a goal, and the kid was actually offside that scored the goal. So we're gonna take it as a opportunity. Like, you got to know where your opponent is, and you also got to call things out for what they are. And our boys, they're 6 and 7 years old, and they're playing against 8 and 9 year olds. So they did well. I'm proud of them, and we're looking forward to all of the things that they got going for this summer, and of course in the fall when we get ready to kick things back off.
That's good. That's good shit, Chuck, man. We definitely happy for the boys, man. They making big moves. I still remember McCrae's commercial. I think was he still a chicken leg or chicken nugget? He takes something and run out the door. What is it?
No, he took the Tony Shashers and ran out the door. Yeah,
The Tony Satchel. Right, right.
Yeah,
And ran out of the door. Right. So
yeah,
man, you definitely. But that puts you in another position, Chuck. You not only are coach, but now you have to learn how to be an agent, how to be a manager, and how to make sure you monetize their talents and blessings to set their future up for them. So
Right.
now they are going to, by the time they get 15, they're going to move different, right? They're going to be some of those children that are going to bear that type of derogatory comments because they carry themselves different because they know who they are and whose they are, and they're confident in their talent.
Yeah.
They say, hey, this is mine. I'm gonna win this, right? You ain't supposed to be like that. Who is Walker in the NBA?
Right. Yeah, and it also makes me think about LeBron James and the scrutiny that he was under as it relates to the way that he moved for his son, and that's McCrae right there, still in the Tonys as he runs out the door. Yep, but that's a commercial that McCrae was in some years ago, so he a bigger little guy than he was right there. Mac, y'all still there?
Yeah. Yeah, we here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mac.
So Chuck, did you hear what the last thing I was saying?
Run it back.
Well, I was saying about we were talking about the monetizing and understanding the different talents and how, we talk about the different comments, but they're going to walk in, they're going to carry themselves different. They're going to demand things different. And I was asking you, people being confident in their skill set, people have something to say about them. But I was just say, who is one of the greatest shit talkers in the NBA? Who is it? Past or present?
Past, the greatest trash talker that I know of is Michael Jordan.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird by far.
Same era. I agree.
No,
but
Bird was the he talked a lot of crap, man.
Well, but the point of it is he was confident in his skill set.
Absolutely.
And nobody cared, nobody checked him on it because he was a white man playing a black man sport, and he told you what he was going to do.
But check out, Bird would say 2 steps to the left in your face.
He'll tell you play by play what he was going to do.
Exactly what he was going to do. That's genius and talent in your face. Now, Jordan was marketed more than any player. And so part of it is the natural progression of your greatness, but also part of it is the marketing of the commercial engine behind you as well. So
yeah. But it goes back to a level of confidence, and that's on and off the field. That's without being a celebrity. You're not supposed to carry yourself a certain way and be confident in who you are. Some of the comments that you probably receive, and I know this guy, right, is because you free and you move how you want. And people have a problem with it. You're not supposed to do that when you look like us.
But like now, he just looks at the next generation of the economic. Don't just get caught up on like the race part. These are two economics clashing together because Jordan had to use Nike, but with his own Nikes. It was no other shoe but mine. That's the point. This is an independent economic fighting against a controlled economic.
That's black.
No, but don't think of it as race.
You got to.
No, you don't.
Yes,
think
you
of it
do.
as dollars. No, think about it. If you think about it, if there's a popular player that don't need Nikes or Adidas or none of that. See, the NFL and NBA are consortiums of economic. But imagine if you got a player who don't even want a shoe deal. That's the point. All the other players were desiring a shoe. And he's
Right.
like, I can make my own shoe and sell it to my Walmart myself. That has never happened before. While they're still playing, Shaq did it. But I'm talking about, but coming in the league,
Yeah.
the
Right.
entry point, pay me the least, it don't matter. I'm gonna make my own money. That's my point. These are two economics clashing together. You can call it race, you can call it this, you can call it that. But at the end of the day, these are economies banging together.
And that's why on the federal level, there has been an orchestrated plan to defund Black America, because without that, it's okay for other folks to have options, but you Negroes can't have options. You got to take what I give you and move how I want you to move. So that's the thing about it. That I'm gonna take this guy because how he carry himself, but I'm trying to prove a point. I'm trying to check you because you come in with a certain level of expectation because you own your own labor and your own brand and your own economic. So you can ask for more and do more because I can't control your economic. I got to prove a point.
But see, this is the Neanderthal nature of the strategic maneuver. If their strategic maneuver was to turn around and say, we're going to do this to you, all it did was boost his brand that he owns individually. So what I'm saying is it's a failed strategy by people who use Neanderthal strategies that worked on other people and try to make them work on him. And some folks are just built different and they can withstand different things. So your strategy must be different.
Correct.
But at this point, this is the only card they could play. So they had to do it. It's not even do they want to do it. It's resident. If you want to stop this NIL piece, and he's not going to be the only one fighting for his own economic, because in college, one of the best bills that I helped co-author was the name, image, and likeness bill in Mississippi. If we do not have that bill in Mississippi, Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders do not come to Jackson State.
Hello.
Because the NIL deal was new in Mississippi. And so now it created an economy. So now you got a whole farm system called college with students and athletes who are marketing themselves and making millions.
Correct.
That's right.
So now this controlled is fighting against this independent economic. Shedeur Sanders is just a current version, but this is a pushback on all of them to scare all of them back. You're scaring this is a big economic pushing against independent economics and pushing back. Is my point. So don't just think about race. The money is the driver.
Well, I can't help it.
I know you can't help it, but I'm saying the money is a driver.
But it's a two-part play, right?
When players don't need Nike, they can go make their own sneakers.
Right.
Money is the economic.
But the thing about it, the comments from what you hear from folks is because of this young Black man that's confident in his talent and his father. And
he's confident in his money.
He's confident in his talent that brings his money.
Right.
Whether it be acting or playing football.
Right.
You own your labor and you own your own talent, and it monetizes and benefits you. But again, you are not shy with it. And no matter if this brother pray every time he out there and shows and give thanks, the point of it is how he carry himself. Mm-hmm. And they don't like that because, again, you're motivating other folks.
Free people and slaves move differently.
That's my point. That you
said it's like, straight talk, right?
Yeah, that's the point.
Free people and slaves move differently.
Correct.
Because like most of the people who have something to say never made $10-20 million at 20 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So if everyone who has something to say could honestly say at 21 years old, I made $20 million.
Correct.
And still be basically coherent.
Correct.
Most people, if they got a $20 million lottery ticket, they would go show up in a new car or something. You know what I mean? So but don't act like you would do way worse, because the majority of people would not be even performing at a high level after making $4 million last year.
Correct.
His junior year, he made like $4 million. Next year, like $20 million.
You ain't even settled. and that's a point.
But that means, they were built for this. So let's go back to the point of the show. The reason I'm here is talking about fatherhood. And
that's
so
point.
The mere fact that anybody chooses to do it should be celebrated in this day and time. The mere fact that you choose to be a present father, just by you making that choice and commitment and showing it over time, you should be celebrated for that. And now Deion Sanders has become a guidepost, not just in the marketing presence part, but he coached his children to the NFL from Little League to high school, to college.
College.
He literally coached his children to the NFL and many others. So let's celebrate that this brother took his time, his life. He was already rich and wealthy, coaching Little League. The teams just kept winning with the formula he gave them, and he God opened up more opportunities from the coach in high school. Like, how many Little League fathers get a high school coaching job?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're
Right.
not celebrating the progression. A Little League father to get a high school coaching job.
I love
Come
it.
on now.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Then the same high school coach get a college coaching job. And then a college coach get a $54 million contract. Like, he a Little League coach.
Favor ain't fair.
Yeah.
Favor ain't fair.
And raise children,
Yeah.
On his own. So for me, I can't be a naysayer because I'm a dad doing the best I can to figure out how I'm going to figure it out. He's still figuring out just like me. Like, for me, I tell everybody out there, I did something at the first of the year. I went, first off, all fathers just start off and just repent. Just honestly go back to your people and say, you know what? I'm the problem and I'm the solution.
I can agree with that.
I stood before Morningstar Missionary Baptist Church, went down to the altar, turned around and said, I'm going to do better. I ain't going to go into everything I shared because that's why I love being part of a small church is them folk know you. And when you turn to the people who know you, right? Like, I would never be a member of another church. Neither will my sister or my father. Never. And when you turn to those people as a father and say, hey, I'm going to do better. And you talk about the issues you go on, that's how I was raised. You give your testimony to your people and you say them do better. And so every father out there, I lead by example. Go down to the altar and handle your business. And work on being better.
That's real. Do that personal
my first
inventory.
time back on a podcast. I haven't been on the radio and then like 2 months. Yeah, for the last 2 months, I haven't been on the radio. I haven't done anything, man, because I've been going on a journey to be better.
Yeah,
it's my first time. I came back to see y'all.
And see, that's the thing about you wanting the best for your child, right? And you want, it's just saying that you advocating for programs at the school, you're advocating for simple things for your child. That's what you do as a father. And you downgrade and talk about so many young men that don't have a father, and you have a father that has been in your life and not only organized and taught you and trained you, but have been there with you. And we're talking about for Coach Prime, and made decisions that benefit his children. How is that a bad thing? Remember, they did the same thing to Ball, right? When he got ready to get his sons to the NBA.
That's right.
The same type of thing, right? You're there. Think about that, right? The thing is, think about Joe Jackson. Think about all these folks that worked and coached their child to greatness, and then as soon as they get to a certain point, somebody else want to take over because they're going to show you how to get to a better spot, right? They're going to show you how to do it better. But also go back to what Stamp said: the economic. Pay the father like you would pay your Jewish agent or manager, but you cut the father out of the economic system, right? But this is the person that knows the child and been working with the child and have the best interest of your child. But for those of us who are not in a celebrity status, all you're trying to do is make decisions to make sure that you can leave a legacy that your child can build on, regardless of what it may be. And for some of us, it's just simple shit. I want to make sure you got somewhere to stay, a house,
right?
That if something happens, you always can come back and live in, right? I want to make sure you got a few dollars for college. I want to make sure that you got a car that you can drive. I want to make sure I can use connections to help you get your first internship or first job.
Right. Your network being your net worth.
College. Some of us, it's simple stuff, and some of us got businesses. Correct. And some of us got businesses and things we want to pass down. But at the end of the day, all you want to do is be present, be the support system, and be able to provide a better life for them than what you had and that someone provided for you. Each generation is supposed to get better.
Right.
And your child should know the same sacrifices should be made by them for their children. That's something that you teach. Again, nobody, they don't like free thinking Negroes, right? And what we always say, eagles don't hang out with chickens. And they definitely want to make sure that people are in a certain mindset, because when I see other folks moving a certain way, that motivates me to want to move a certain way. If I see that, hell, if Stamps can do it, hell, I can do it. And if I get motivated by seeing what they do, that changes the dynamics of everything. And now you're competing because the dollar is the mighty thing that they want to control or have access to. And when our dollar start making other directions and making sense, as Brother Jasper say, they have a problem with that. Somebody.
All right, we got a little comment coming in. Delano Jaquez Parker, I just watched on TV. Where what? Man, come on, bro. Get off here. You want to get banned? Delete. All right.
Sure.
Closing thoughts. Matt, you kind of gave one. I think the Keith kind of gave one too. Anything else on y'all's mind as it relates to this? I can kind of sum us up if y'all like.
Well, the song is going to sum up everything.
Look, you know it where I was going. Look, it's all about the money. And I wish I wish that we could play Deion Sanders version right now.
Yeah.
It must be the money. Well, look, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, tapping in, checking in with us. This has been another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. We put some on your head before you go to bed. We got some tips that we will summarize from the conversation that we had tonight. They will be posted on the Black With No Chaser blog, and hopefully we'll be able to get it on the MississippiBlackPages.com blog. This is a fight for Black excellence, Black freedom, and Black fatherhood. We got to continue to build, support, empower the next generation. Like Max said, we got to leave it better than what we found it, baby. It's about us. It's about us. It's about freedom. It's about success, and it's about economics. So with it being said, let's get to where the money reside, baby. We'll see y'all next week.
Wait.
Don't forget, Black With No Chaser is headed to South Africa January 19th through the 31st, 2026. I think all the spots are all sold out, but you can get on the waiting list. Go to veryflylife.com. Put your info there. We'll see y'all next week for another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. Each and every Tuesday night, get your nightcap, put the kids to bed. You know, we're going to talk about something real, provide some real solutions, and we'll see you next week. Nightcap Knowledge, baby. Let's go.